This is the Cook and Eat Show, and this episode is called What's in My Fridge. This is where I put together snacks and meals from stuff around my kitchen. Sometimes there's a plan. Most times I'm just making it up as I go. Let's see what happens.
Welcome back to yet another episode of the Cook and Eat Show. So today in my fridge, I had a cabbage that I really wanted to use and I didn't know how. Sometimes I will just buy a few cabbage heads, not really knowing what I want to do with them. But I like keeping certain foods on hand because honestly, you can do a lot of things with cabbage. You can really include them in a lot of different meals, and so it's just good to have those things on hand. Well, today, this cabbage is going to be used in a recipe I found online. I'll link it in the description. This is a really super simple recipe. I decided that this is going to be kind of a side to the main entree. I will be accompanying this food with mashed potatoes in a bag. So I am not in the mood to go through the trouble of really making nice homemade from fresh mashed potatoes. Honestly, who cares? So let's shortcut with that. And then I've got some cod. So this is going to be a pretty interesting meal. I'm not sure what I want to do with the cod yet, but it's cod. You can put any seasoning on it, keep it simple, and it'll taste pretty darn good. So let's see what happens. So for this recipe, you will need garlic powder, salt, and pepper. The recipe also calls for taco seasoning. I don't have taco seasoning. What I do have is paprika, a spice whose name I'm probably saying wrong, but berberry, onion powder, sage, thyme, and parsley. If you have dairy butter, then use it, or olive oil. Let's get started. So now it's time to lay out the cabbage and then butter it up. Since I'm not as confident about these smaller pieces, I'm going to put them on the end so that they won't burn while roasting. I did end up cutting that first end piece in half. I just want to make sure that these are as flavorful as possible. It's actually a challenge to pick these things up. So we have these laid out, and honestly, it's just time to lay on the butter. I've already taken the step of melting the butter just because instead of rubbing it on there, I just wanted to be able to drizzle it. Probably a reason you're supposed to spread it on there, but you know, that's probably why. So let's get some more butter. My hope is also that the melted butter gets into the crevices. I'm a fan of butter. I just don't think you can really overdo it. I mean, you can, even when you get the good stuff. Eating it in excess, of course, is not too great, but it tastes good. Time to put these in the oven. Now while the cabbage is cooking, I'm going to start on the cod. I've decided that I will sear it a little in olive oil and keep the seasonings simple. Just some salt, pepper, and a little bit of lemon juice. The fish is just about done. I like mine to have a little crisp on the ends. And just a little bit of crisp on either side. So I've turned up the heat and essentially I'm just waiting on the crisp to happen, and then
pretty much it'll be time to flip the cabbage in the oven. The recipe mentions cooking the cabbage for about 20 minutes and flipping it halfway. One thing about cod is it is very soft fish. I probably should have used a bigger spatula, but oh well. So it is taste testing time. Okay, yes. What would I change? Nothing. This is really good. It's really juicy. I'm glad that I kept the taste really simple because the cabbage is really rich in a lot of flavors. And so keeping the fish simple is just a way to help my palate not be overloaded with amazing, delicious flavors. Something I like to do with the store-bagged mashed potatoes is just add a little garlic and parsley, and this time I also added chopped chives. It just gives it a little bit more of a robust flavor. It makes it a little less boring than just buttery goodness. I love potatoes, so I'm happy either way. This is going to be great. I'm happy I tried this out. In the meantime, I'm about to eat this, and I will catch you all on another episode. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I enjoyed putting it together. Thanks for watching. Till next time, keep eating.